Capricorn, before anything else, I need you to stop whatever you're doing and listen very carefully. This message is not random. It didn't just find you. It was sent to you. Yes, sent. Because something is moving behind the scenes of your life right now, and if you've been feeling uneasy, out of place, or suddenly focused on things you used to overlook, that's just the beginning. If this already sounds like your life, go ahead and like this video. Hit that subscribe button and comment, "I receive," because what you do in this moment will decide how quickly this breakthrough reaches you. Some of you are just one affirmation away from the answer you've been praying for. You see, Capricorn, there's a cosmic shift happening just for you, the kind that doesn't come every year, the kind that only happens when the universe decides it's time to repay you for the battles you didn't think anyone noticed. You've been climbing mountains while others slept. You've been pressing forward while others complained. And now, something is bending toward you, something that has your name on it. But before it gets to you, you have to be prepared, because sometimes the blessing looks like a burden before it turns into favor. Let me share a story, a real one. There was a Capricorn woman who felt stuck. Her friends were moving shelves of success while she was shelved in silence. She applied for jobs and got no replies. She loved deeply and was rejected. She prayed, cried, and thought the universe had forgotten her. One day she received a call, not from a place she applied to, but from a place she didn't even know was watching her. They offered her a job triple her dreams, not because she begged, but because her consistency was seen in places her presence never entered. That's the kind of miracle energy floating toward you right now, prepared blessings for prepared hands. And yes, I know some of you are tired of waiting, tired of seeing others thrive while you're left watering seeds in silence. Maybe you even questioned if you're doing something wrong or if your timing is off. But take this in, every Capricorn must understand that your destiny is not built in public view. It's forged in the furnace of rejection. The greatest stories written about Capricorns don't start with applause, they start with pain. Look at LeBron James, a fellow Capricorn. Born into struggle, raised without a father, overcoming poverty. But now, his name rings through arenas, his influence reaches global heights. He didn't get there because life was easy. He got there because life pushed him into places most people couldn't handle. And yet there is a bigger pattern here, one you probably never noticed until today. If the last few months have felt strange, more emotional than usual, more reclusive, more distant from people and things that once felt familiar, that's because you're not walking in the same season anymore. Spiritually speaking, you're being moved into a new chamber. You've outgrown what used to hold you, but until the door opens, it feels tight, heavy, and confusing. Joseph in the Bible lived this. His own family abandoned him, lied on him, threw him into pits. They thought it was punishment, but it was promotion in disguise. He was never alone, just hidden until the moment the palace needed his gift. And let me tell you this, something in your life right now is hiding your power. Maybe it's your current job, your financial state, your home situation, or even your emotional storm. But inside that place, your crown is being shaped. Doesn't it feel strange how the people who used to need your guidance now distance themselves? Or how you used to chase opportunities, but now opportunities are quiet? That silence isn't abandonment, it's alignment. It's a clearing so the right connections, the right money, and the right partnerships can find you without the clutter of the past. Some of you are asking, why is all this happening now? I'm going to tell you, but before I do, if any of this is making sense, I need you to affirm it. Not for the algorithm, but because energy passes through agreement. Drop a comment and say, "I align," because when you align, what is yours can no longer bypass you. Let's talk about hidden preparation. Steve Harvey, a Capricorn, went from living in a car to hosting some of the biggest platforms on the planet. People saw his success, but not the silent tears he cried when nobody showed up. What if I told you that your silence right now is setting you up for a public rise, but only those who stay faithful in the dark will dance in the light? And Capricorn, you've stayed, you've endured, you've poured love into people who had none to give back. And the universe is watching. That feeling of being cut off from everything familiar isn't punishment, it's redirection. Let that sink in. You didn't lose that relationship. You were extracted. You didn't fail at that job. You were untethered. You weren't ignored. You were preserved. Because if what's coming had attached to the wrong version of you, you would have lost it. The new you needed space to breathe. And right now, right this second, the spiritual atmosphere around you is clearing the path. Some of you have started dreaming strange dreams, seeing numbers repeat, or you're finding it harder to tolerate situations that used to feel normal. That's because your spirit is detecting the shift before your eyes can see it. It's like a spiritual pressure drop. Storms clear the air, but only after they shake what isn't grounded. So if your connections feel unstable or your inner world feels unsettled, trust this. The gift coming to you was never meant to arrive in the presence of certain people. This is something many Capricorns don't realize. You're being handed back everything that was blocked. But there's something else too, a deeper truth. A truth that will only make sense when you see the full picture of why things were delayed. Some of you are about to receive what you thought had expired. A call from the past. A door that closed but now swings back open, not because you chased it, but because timing finally aligned. Your blessings are not lost, they're locked, and only the version of you who survived this storm has the key. There's something I haven't told you yet, a detail that ties everything together, but I want to know if you're ready for it. Let me see it. Type "I'm ready" in the comments, and I'll know you're still with me, still expecting, still aligned. Because the real reason this is all happening, is not random, it's written. And the moment I say it, everything you've been carrying will suddenly make sense. Capricorn, if you're hearing this right now, it's not by chance. You are being spoken to through a divine frequency that most people miss because they're too distracted. But not you. You've already felt something shifting around you, and that's why you're here. Before I go deeper into this revelation, I need you to pause for a moment and do something important. If this message is already touching something in your spirit, like the truth is trying to rise up inside you, hit that like button right now. Comment, "I rise," and subscribe, because the energy that's flowing through this message is unlocking something ancient in your story. This is not entertainment. This is alignment. Have you ever wondered why your life doesn't move like everyone else? Why something inside you always pulls you toward deeper meaning, heavier responsibility, or greater visions, even when others seem content just drifting through life? That's because you're marked. The story of your life was never designed to be average. Your soul didn't agree to mediocrity before it came to this earth. You're not just here to survive, you're here to build something that outlives you. That is the Capricorn calling, and some of you are just waking up to it. But here's the twist: the very destiny that makes you powerful is the reason you've been attacked the most. Think about it. Since childhood, you've been made to feel misunderstood. You tried to fit in, but nothing ever felt comfortable unless it was real, raw, and rooted in purpose. Some of you even learned to stay silent because speaking your truth seemed to either intimidate people or make them walk away. But what if that isolation wasn't a curse, but a calling? What if those lonely seasons weren't rejections, but rehearsals? Let's talk about someone who lived that story in real life, someone who was cast aside, misunderstood, and almost forgotten before the world finally saw him. Nelson Mandela, a true Capricorn, he spent 27 years behind bars. Think about it, 27 years of silence, separation, suffering. He wasn't just stripped of freedom, he was stripped of identity, stripped of his voice. But while the world thought he was losing, Mandela was becoming. Every day of that trial was shaping him for the throne he would one day sit upon. The world had no idea that the man they tried to silence would one day become the voice of a generation. Mandela didn't beg for destiny, he endured it. That's Capricorn power. And here's something that's been happening in your life too. You've been surviving your own kind of prison. Maybe it's mental, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's financial. But in that confinement, something was being formed. Your resilience, your clarity, your focus. While others saw you as stuck, the spiritual world saw you as loading. See, the biggest victories are always born in the shadows. David killed lions before he ever faced a giant. Joseph interpreted dreams in prison before he ever ruled a palace. The world always sees the reward, but never the wrestling. And I have to say this because some of you are missing the hint. The things that fell apart in your life were never meant to stay. That person that walked out, they were not strong enough to walk beside this version of you. That opportunity you lost, it wasn't aligned with the size of the blessing that's coming. The reason the past has been crumbling is because your future is too heavy to share space with it. You didn't fail, you outgrew. Capricorn, the whole time you've been thinking, what's wrong with me? The question is actually, what's right with me? Something in you no longer responds to old environments. That's not sadness, that's evolution. You're vibrating on a new frequency now, and the things that can't match that vibration are falling away. Stop grieving the departure of what was draining you. Let me tell you about another Capricorn power story, Denzel Washington. Where did his fire come from? Behind every calm smile is a storm survived. He didn't come from privilege. He came from pain, pressure, and purpose. He knew what it meant to wait. He knew what it meant to be overlooked. But like every Capricorn, he didn't crumble. He carved his name into history by walking through doors that weren't even built for him. He brought his own presence, his own power. And what God marked, no man could cancel. And that's exactly what's happening for you right now. There's a door forming in your life that you don't see yet. Something that's been discussed about you in rooms your feet haven't touched. Some of you are about to be shocked when you realize how many people have been watching your journey from afar, waiting for the right moment to reach out, to offer what you've been working for. But let me tell you the spiritual secret: blessings rarely announce themselves. They arrive disguised in silence, wrapped in slow shifts, revealed in sudden realizations. That's why the universe is pushing you into stillness right now. That's why your intuition has been loud. That's why your sleep patterns have changed. Your spirit is preparing for something your mind can't yet explain. Some of you are being drawn to places you've never been, thinking thoughts you've never thought, wanting things you never desired before. That's not random. That's calling. So I need you to do this, align with it. Don't just listen, engage it. If this message is stirring something inside you, speak it into the comments. Say, I align with my destiny. Words create worlds. Energy responds to agreement. You've been silent too long. Now it's time to speak life back into your own story. And listen, if you've been noticing certain people popping back up in your life, or random memories coming back, or seeing repeating numbers and signs, pay attention. Nothing is accidental right now. The universe is reorganizing your timeline. Old chapters are being rewritten, old wounds are being sealed, old delays are being reversed. You're not going backward, you're collecting the pieces that will make you unstoppable. This isn't a return, it's a reset. Some of you have been dreaming of things that seemed impossible a year ago. Don't dismiss that. Vision always arrives before manifestation. Your future is trying to introduce itself. Don't silence it just because your present feels small. David was still a shepherd when he was chosen to be king. Your current position is not your final role. Don't settle. You're going to notice a very specific shift in the coming days. Unexpected messages, sudden clarity, hidden truth revealing itself, a phone call that changes everything. And when it happens, I want you to remember this moment, because I didn't come here to tell you what's coming. I came here to confirm what your spirit already knows. There's something important I haven't shared yet, a pattern that explains why your journey has been shaped the way it has, and what the next phase of your life is truly preparing you for. But before I reveal that, I need to know if you're truly ready to hear it, not just with your ears, but with your life. If you're still here, if you're still feeling this message in your bones, comment "I'm ready" and keep watching. Because what happens next is the reason the enemy tried so hard to break you. Capricorn, I need you to hear this with every part of your soul. What's coming toward you now is not just another opportunity, not just another shift. It's the moment every struggle, every sleepless night, every unanswered question has been leading to. But before I speak into that, I need you to take a moment, right now, and do something that is going to anchor this blessing into your reality. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment, I am aligned, because what you're about to hear will activate something in your spirit that can't be undone. You're entering a season where everything that worked against you is about to work for you. You've been pushed to limits you didn't know you could endure. You've been stretched, questioned, misunderstood, and overlooked. But here's the mystery. What they thought would break you has actually built you. What they thought would silence you has actually sharpened your voice. And what they thought would end your story was just the scene change before your arrival. Capricorn doesn't rise in silence because they're weak. Capricorn rises in silence because they're being charged. There's a reason you've been remembering things you thought you healed from, a reason certain names, places, or songs suddenly feel heavy again. That's because the universe is tying up loose threads. You're not meant to carry unfinished pain into this next level. You're being cleansed, not punished. Think about Joseph again. The very people who betrayed him had to watch him rise, had to sit in the presence of the blessing they tried to bury. The very pit that was meant to end him became the platform that revealed him. But let's talk about your story, not just the ancient ones. You've endured your own betrayals too. You've carried silent burdens that would have crushed other people. You've done more with less, created beauty out of brokenness, and kept moving even when your heart was dragging behind you. Let me ask you something. Why do you think your spirit never allowed you to give up completely? Why do you think every time something fell apart, you still had the courage to try again? Because deep down, the soul of a Capricorn knows the ending before the battle even begins. Let me share a powerful true-life story. There was a Capricorn man who was fired from multiple jobs. He was told he was good enough, not a leader, too intense, too serious. He believed them for a while until life forced him to create his own path. He started a business with nothing but a borrowed old laptop and a cracked phone. Today, that same man is a millionaire, signing checks for people who once doubted him. And he said something that still echoes in my mind. When they shut the door, they didn't know I was the carpenter. Some of you have the same story in you. You've been rejected because you were meant to build what you could not find. Your destiny was too big for the rooms they tried to fit you into. Your silence wasn't weakness, it was preparation. And here where it gets spiritual, right now you're in a prophetic window. Something is happening in your atmosphere that you're not fully aware of yet. The ancestors, the universe, God, whatever name you give it, has been aligning a series of events in your favor. There are conversations happening about you that you haven't heard yet. There are blessings with your name on them traveling through time. You are not late, you are right on time. The delay was divine. That's why you've been feeling different lately. Why the things you tolerated before are suddenly unbearable. Why some connections have become blurry. Your soul has outgrown the room. You're not meant to shrink anymore. You're meant to step into places that match your spirit. And Capricorn, your spirit is royal. Think about Oprah Winfrey for a moment, another mighty Capricorn, born into poverty, abused, silenced, doubted, and yet destined. She didn't fight for a spot at the table. She built her own table with her own voice, with her own purpose, and the whole world came to sit. Capricorn energy doesn't adapt to the world. It shifts the world. It bends reality. I need you to understand this deeply. This rising you're about to step into isn't just for you. It's generational. When you break through, your children won't know certain struggles. When you level up, your lineage shifts. When you heal, everyone attached to you feels it. Your life is not random. You were chosen for a very specific reason, and that reason is about to make sense. But listen closely. Before every elevation, there is always a test. Some of you are in that test right now. Things feel slow. People are distant. You feel a strange emptiness even when nothing is wrong. That is the moment before alignment snaps into place. That's the final quiet before the curtain rises. You are not being forgotten, you're being positioned. And the universe doesn't position without purpose. Now here's what you've been waiting for, the real reason all of this has been happening in your life. It's something your soul already knows, but your mind hasn't decoded yet. And when you finally hear it, everything, every heartbreak, every delay, every failure, every closed door is going to make sense in a way that will move you to tears. But before I reveal it, I need to know you're ready. Not just ready to hear it, but ready to embody it, ready to receive it, and ready to walk in it. If you're still here, still locked into this message, if something in your spirit is shaking right now, I want you to declare it. Write "I'm ready" for the unveiling in the comments. Because when I speak the next words, your whole story will turn.